Well, hello there, and welcome to another edition of Warbird Wednesday. My name is Fred Bell. I'm the Vice Chairman of the Palm Springs Air Museum, and today Greg has me festively coiffed, because this is the last edition that we're going to do before the 4th of July. So Greg has found me something rather interesting. I'm going to go ahead and toss that off camera. Another good catch by the Kenny. My adulpated assistant today helped me out. Now, we have done aircraft and we brought in guests and things. You know, we brought in Kristen Hansen for the segment on that F-18. And today we're going to do something a little bit different. We've done the P-51, Bob Friend's P-51. But today we're going to talk about Man of War, which is an aircraft that just joined our collection, although it isn't an aircraft that just joined us, and I'll explain that in a minute. Now, this aircraft, 44-72739, this specific aircraft was built in Inglewood, California in February of 1945. It was shipped to Stansted, England, and it arrived too late for combat, if you can believe that, Greg. Now, I've said this before, it is rare to find airplanes that have gone to one of the forward bases and came back, because what ended up happening is there were so many airplanes. The United States had produced so much hardware that most of these aircraft, they were stripped with their components of anything that had any value. And then what ended up happening is they generally were cut up. In fact, I was talking with Harry Stewart, who flew with Bob Friend, and Harry told me in Italy, they flew their airplane to a depot, their P-51, and this will make all you P-51 fans sad out there. Literally, he got out of the airplane, he walked away, and he saw him cut the tail off the airplane. That's how fast they scrapped the airplane. That's what they did with most of these forward aircraft. They did not bring them back. Some of the transports, some of the bombers were an exception, or if you had an airplane that was doing a bond drive or something like that, like Memphis Belle would be a good example, the B-17. So it was shipped to Stansted, England, and it arrived there. It returned to the U.S., and it was in the New Jersey Air Guard. It went to the New Jersey Air Guard, and then it went back to active service in 1950 in Korea. It was called back. Of course, by that time, we were with the United States Air Force, as the Army Air Force had gone by the wayside. Now, I'm going to pick up my plan view of the airplane. P-51, very familiar. Greg can throw a plan view up. This is a D model P-51. There were some later model P-51s made with the tall tail and some earlier versions of the airplane. Obviously, the big change with the P-51 with the type was the introduction of that Merlin engine, which gave the airplane the range that it needed and the performance at high altitude in Europe to take the Germans on.
The first Mustang, equipped with an Allison engine, rolled out of the factory doors on October 26, 1940. The plane was then produced for use by the Royal Air Force. Our own Army Air Corps remained cool to the fighter. Eddie Rickenbacker changed all of that. He said, "Crossbreed the Mustang airframe with a Rolls-Royce engine, and you'll have the best plane in the world." The word was sent to Kindleberger. The Mustang was on its way. North American went on a back-breaking schedule to deliver Mustangs. They had to deliver the first planes by December 1943, and they had to keep them coming in large numbers.
Ultimately got air superiority, and it's one of the weapons that won World War II. Now, the aircraft, though, doesn't end there. This particular aircraft here, what happened, Greg? What happened? It was sold to Universal Studios in 1957, if you can believe that, which a lot of airplanes at that time, that happened with them. They were sold off as surplus. This one was sold off. It was used in a movie called Battle Hymn, and then it became a prop over at Universal Studios. It had no motor. There was an electric motor that would spin the prop. So all you P-51 folks out there, think about that this thing at one time was basically an amusement park. Not much different, Greg, than our P-63, which is a playground toy. We have pictures of that. But but it was eventually sold by the studio in the 1970s. Asher Ward picked it up. Now, before it became Claiborne Kennard's airplane, Lieutenant Colonel Claiborne Kennard, it had another interesting name, Greg. That name was Poontang. That's an interesting name for an airplane. Now, that takes me to the original Man of War. And Greg, hopefully in post, can go out and get some of the name Man of War that were on P-51s, because they were different than this. And Greg can go out and find them, I hope. But this airplane, and the thing that happened with airplanes, with these airplanes, is the name would change. It'd be named after their mother, their girlfriend, some sort of profound name like Man of War. But the original Man of War, the aircraft itself had a few names. It was named Man of War, it was named Old Witch, and it was named Floozy Susie, as it changed pilots and mounts. It was not always Man of War. The original aircraft, Elmer Ward in 1974, who was no relation to Asher, and his brilliant idea to name the airplane Poontang, acquired the airplane, and it went into, eventually was restored, and it went into the Man of War livery that it's in now. It's been around a long, long time. Now, a couple of unique features. By the way, we're going to give a shout out to the Wards here in a minute, but a unique feature of a lot of fighter airplanes were a couple of things. It could be the paint on the tail or the nose paint. This particular model has invasion stripes. Bob Friend's airplane has different colors on it. The trim tabs would say what squadron and the fighter group they were, and things of that nature. This airplane has a unique tiger stripe camouflage, if you want to call it that, tiger stripe motif. Now, the reality of it is, if you hear the stories about the pilot, about the colonel, lieutenant colonel, he would tell you that this was only on the airplane for a very short period of time. Because what ended up happening was the Germans, now this is hearsay, so go with me on this, Greg, go with me. Supposedly the Germans saw this and thought that he was like some hotshot pilot and immediately would go after him. Lieutenant Colonel Claiborne Kennard, he was in the 334th Fighter Squadron. He had 25 kills. You can see those, Greg. Very cool, around the canopy, which is something a lot of aces did. And he had both aerial kills and kills on the ground, which the aircraft, P-51s, later in the war, the Germans weren't coming up as much. And so a lot of what was happening is these guys were getting down low and going after aircraft on the ground. I think he had 17 kills on the ground. Aficionados out there can check that. But I think it was 17 of the 25 were actually on the ground kills. Now, I am going to, let's see what Greg has done to me before the 4th of July. This is delicious Boots beverage. Boots. B-O-O-T-S. Picture, oh, I know where you're going. I don't see these generally ahead of time, so you get the on-camera reaction, either my joy or despair. Picture Show Cinnamon Red Hot Soda. Okay. Well, we're getting ready to come up on the 4th of July, so maybe this is red hot and you'll get some fireworks on me. But I want to really say the salute to this is to the Ward family. There are few aviation families in the United States that have been able to carry on the tradition. And so to Todd Ward and Casey Ward and the Ward family, they're carrying on Elmer's memory and his legacy with this airplane. We are very, very lucky to be able to operate this aircraft in our stable of planes. And I'm going to tell you some exciting things about it. But first, as I drink this tribute to the Ward family, I'm going to see, 170 calories, no sell-by date. So this could be botulism 101. He buys this stuff by the bulk from, you know, the 7-Eleven in the Arctic. That is red hot soda. Oh, wow. What a finish, Greg. That's a finish. I may actually have to have you stop the camera here. And I'm going to have one more swig, though. That's the deal. That's not, you know what? It's not bad. It's not a taste that I would enjoy all the time, but it's not bad. So the aircraft was operated, it's done ride flights for many, many years since it came back into flying. It came here. Now, when it came here, what we did with it, we do a thing in our flight program called a bridging inspection. And a bridging inspection basically means before we put a human being in the airplane, we completely take it apart. So in this aircraft, we actually had the gear out of it. We went completely through the airplane. So the airplane was sitting here for about a year as we went through it. And so we completely went through the airplane, put it back. It's been flying about, I would say, back in the air about a month. Now, why is that important to you? That's important to you because you're going to get to see this. First of all, it's going to be flying for the 4th of July up over Lake Elsinore if you see it with Bunny. But it's also going to Reno in September. Greg can throw up the dates, but it's going to be up there at Reno with Bunny and our P-53 Pretty Polly. We're going to be showing the flag, and you're up in the Reno area. We'd love to have you come by and say hello to us. Now, the other thing you can do is Greg will include a link. You can actually click on a link, and we pay for supplemental insurance to go up there. We can use your help with a donation to pay for the insurance on those airplanes, so you can click on that link, make a donation. Our aircraft at Reno actually have done quite a bit, and actually, one year when Bob Friend was there, Greg, who actually got to see it, which is one of the treats, one of the special treats, actually got to see Bunny come in 3rd place in the silver class, which was great. He got to go up on the podium. And this was about a year before Bob Friend passed away. So that was very, very special. This is one of the opportunities that people can actually see these airplanes in a performance band that is fairly close to what they were doing. People say, well, are you racing it? The answer is what we're doing, the air racing up there has evolved to the point where what we're doing now is almost like NASCAR or Formula One, where you have evenly matched aircraft. These aircraft are not modified, and basically what you see is who flies the best line, kind of like NASCAR, who drives the best line, or in Formula One, who drives the best line. But at least with our aircraft, we go up there, we want to support the Reno air races, and we want to really give folks an opportunity to see them. So if you're in Reno, get up there and see us. But you have also some new merch that I have on today. I'm a walking merch offering here, so we've got new merchandise. This is hot off of the, I don't know if that's a press, hot off the silk screen, but hot off the press. We're new Man of War shirt. You can actually, Greg can put that in there. You can go out and click on that, pick your size, and be the first on your block to have a Man of War shirt with Merlin power. And this is very cool. This is a race shirt we will have up at Reno. We'll have the other aircraft as well, P-63, Pretty Polly, and the P-51, Bob Friend's airplane, Bunny. So you'll be able to see all of that stuff. Now, we cannot do this without your support, and we really appreciate all that you have done for us. This is an example of one of our flying fleet of airplanes. There's about 10 aircraft that we fly and the 75 airframes that we have. So if you get a chance, come by the museum. You might be able to catch Man of War. My name is Fred Bell. I'm the Vice Chairman of the Palm Springs Air Museum. Hopefully today we have earned your subscription on our YouTube channel. Like us on YouTube and subscribe if you can do that. Like us on Facebook. Leave a comment. We're happy to talk to you. Thank you very much. Have a great 4th of July.